so I could play some bloody music, man. Yo, good morning, folkers. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Snapzilla Gorilla. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. See if let y'all start trickling in, or maybe I should just get going. So, everything. How y'all doing? As a matter of fact, let me. How y'all doing today on this Saturday, what the hell? January 6th, 2021. How y'all doing today? It's a Saturday. We got some clear skies here in Southern California. The sky isn't very blue today, but you know, it is what it is. So, I was watching a little bit of this Marjorie Taylor Green press conference, and I gotta say, man, these politicians sure know how to fucking social engineer. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. The social engineering never stops. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation, okay? It's a non-stop, infinite operation that it shapes society. That's why they call it social engineering. Social engineering is meant to shape society and to shape the people within society, shape their ideals, shape their thought processes, basically to get people to behave and act and react the way you can predict, okay? Many of us in the world today are very predictable. The wise one was good. I think I saw old head do something here. The social engineers, they're pretty smart. And what happened with Marjorie Taylor Green was just another component of that social engineering. Right now, it's very important for them to muzzle influential people. Very important. It's very important for the social engineers to control the dissemination of information, to make people who think a certain way or who question government, to make them look like nutbags and idiots, okay? And what happened with Marjorie Taylor Thomas just goes on to prove to me that, you know, they coming hard for conspiracy theorists. You understand what I'm saying? Alien believers, I think that's you. Why was this important? You have to think about what she was talking about, okay? She was talking about how before she ran for Congress, you know, she felt like she was essentially disenfranchised, forgotten about, whatever the case may be. Mostly what a lot of middle Americans said before Trump got in office, okay? And, you know, she had certain things going on in her mind, and, you know, they had the Russia collusion shit and how they were going after Trump for that. And then in 2017, QAnon comes out with their shit, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a beacon of hope for her, like, oh, they spun this tale, QAnon, right? QAnon spun this tale of nonsense. All these predictions that never came true, all these arrests, this, that, and the third, stringing people along, gaining mass support. But this is what I think QAnon was designed to do. I think that's Black Spring with Autumn. This is what I think QAnon was designed to do. QAnon was designed to expose dissenters. That's really all it was about. So that the elites can use their intelligence enforcers, right, to gather information on people they feel will give them the most resistance when they start ramping up the tyranny. That's what QAnon was all about, right? So they wanted to see who would believe in QAnon. They wanted to see who would spread QAnon's information. They wanted to see who would be emboldened by QAnon's tales. All right, that's what I think. And it worked out perfectly. It worked out perfectly. All right, because many people that they would consider probably would give them a lot of resistance actually came to QAnon and started believing in QAnon and sharing QAnon's information and believing in it. And this is what they wanted. So now it's all out there. Don't think. See, once you start playing around in the interwebs, it's very difficult to hide your activity. It's very difficult to hide your activity. Even if you're in the dark web doing shit, you can still leave a footprint somewhere if you're not very careful. You have to understand what they're doing. And Marjorie Taylor Thomas is just an avatar, okay? An avatar for QAnon believers. She represents millions, okay? Millions of QAnon believers. And what she did was she came out and she basically turned her back on all these QAnon believers and said, saying things like, oh, I was allowed to believe in QAnon. I was this, that, and the third. She saw the error of her ways. Just really kicking the can down the road. Just really like, hey, I was wrong. I should have trusted the government. And that was the thing about it. She said that she did not trust the government. And basically said that she was wrong for not trusting the government. You understand what I'm saying? So what message is she putting out there to the rest of the QAnon followers, to the rest of any dissenters that might believe in conspiracy theories? She's telling everybody, we have to trust the government because QAnon has failed at every turn. QAnon it just basically didn't live up to what they said they were. And I really don't understand how people could believe in QAnon in the first place, just like that. Just because you're being told what you wanted to hear. You wanted to hear like there was just some that you wanted to hear that Trump was some hero that was going to save America from the globalists and save America from refugees and illegal immigrants. Everything that Trump was supposed to save America from, it didn't happen. All right. But that's what we want, right? Not me personally, but that's what these people wanted. They wanted this hero. They wanted Trump. They wanted him in his knight in orange armor. You know what I'm saying? They wanted that. They wanted him to be that. QAnon set Trump up to be this hero for everybody that believed in QAnon, for people that felt like that they were left behind, that they were, that they were being placed in the back burner, by the politicians, the farmers and the factory workers and the miners and all these type of people, What Trump did, he came in, he created millions of jobs, okay? Brought work back here, had to, just created a lot of jobs, So, of course, when he comes in and does a lot of the things that he says he's going to do, QAnon starts to make a little more sense. But what happens when he's not doing what QAnon said he was going to do? Like all these hundreds, tens of thousands of affidavits going out to the elites, for them to be, not affidavits, indictments, right? All these indictments that were supposed to go out, all these mass arrests of all these pedophiles and all this, that, and the third. What happened to all that? It never came to fruition. But as long as Trump kept doing what he said he was going to do, for the most part, then it was like, okay, well, Trump's doing what he said he was going to do. At some point, he has to do what QAnon said he was going to do. So, let's hold out hope. Let's keep trusting the plan, right? Because that's trust the plan. Trust the plan. Trust the plan that never works. Trust the plan that never comes to be, right? Until one day, until the very last minute, they're telling you, oh, Biden's not going to be in the White House. Oh, we're going to have Trump in there for another 4 years. This, that, and the third. I mean, these people, the okie doke, man. It was like the straight up okie doke. There's always a date. Oh, she definitely want to watch. She's just another example of how censorship, right, is going to play a huge role, right? We thought censorship was bad before. It's about to get way worse. Look what happened to MTG. She was stripped from every committee, right? Every committee that she belonged to. Done. She's out of there. Just because she expressed some opinions, right? Just because she questioned certain things, and some things she had every right to question, every right to say the things that she said, but because of this QAnon stuff, because QAnon pulled so many people in, and now they're creating legislation that would outlaw and that would make you a terrorist because you're saying things QAnon said, you're repeating QAnon words and QAnon predictions and all this, that, and third. Once you get lumped into that QAnon crowd, now you're going to become a criminal, a terrorist in their minds that they can do whatever they want with. And the people and the sheeple that already think there's some dangerous white supremacists, you tie those dangerous white supremacists to QAnon, and now anybody who spouts any type of information or opinion that might line up with something that QAnon believers say or do, then you're going to be lumped into that as well. It might not even have to be anything that QAnon says. Now, if you question government, if you question government, if you show any resistance in any form or fashion, guess what? You're going to get caught up in that too. And that's the whole point. The point is not to go after QAnon people. That's not the point. The point is to go after people that resist the control, that resist the chains. That's the whole point. Hold on, y'all. I mean, I'm telling y'all, Trump and Marjorie Taylor Green, those are going to be, they're going to be the two scapegoats. They're going to be the two examples that they're going to use as to why they need to, restrict us even more, to strip more of our freedoms away. You know what I'm saying? And they're willing participants in the stage play. That's what people don't understand. These are actors. These people, Marjorie Taylor Green and Donald Trump, they knew the plan. They know the plan. They're just acting they're acting their part. They're playing their part in the stage play. That's what people need to understand. You understand what I'm saying? Marjorie Taylor Green might have been legitimate before she became a congressperson, but once she got up in there, she had to sacrifice her beliefs. If she had them in the first place, she had to sacrifice her beliefs. She was presented with something probably and was like, you know what? I'm going to I'm going to toe the line here, because to do the alternative is not very appealing. Let's see what y'all talking about. Alien Believers, how you doing? Old Head Deuce, Black Spring with Autumn in the house. Okay, so Alien Believers says yes, and now the house is under lockdown. They're going to do what they want without people even getting to see what their government is doing. Exactly. They are using government representatives for the erosion of rights. It might be helpful if the representatives stop talking. The DHS has issued a bulletin. What was the bulletin about? Looks like our government is so virtuous that they come with its own prison. This is the future, right? Their preparedness for the future. They want us to get used to seeing walls and fences and razor wire, right? That's what they want us to get used to, all right? And, I'm not even mad. You know what? People are wasting so much energy being angry with Marjorie Taylor Green or defending Marjorie Taylor Green that they don't even see what's really going on here. They don't really see what's going on. They don't see that this is about controlling how you think. This is social engineering right here. What that was a piece of social engineering, okay? What it's telling you is, you believed in QAnon. If you believed in what QAnon said, if you didn't trust the government, guess what? Because of QAnon and because of what Trump said and this, that, and the third, what QAnon did never came to fruition. They're full of shit, right? But they got you in trouble because guess what? You got in trouble because you believed and you trusted in the plan and you expressed that verbally out of your mouth as a congressperson, as someone up here. And this is what can happen to you if you go against government rule. Even as a congressperson, you will be knocked down a few notches. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they went harder for her than they did for Ashley Bobert. Is that her name, Ashley Bobert, the congresswoman that carries a firearm? She just got her concealed carry permit, and she can now walk around in D.C. with her concealed carry firearm. That's a whole nother story. But they going harder after Marjorie Taylor Green than they did Bobert. They did try to get rid of Bobert. They did try to place criminal charges on her. That never happened. But, I think they feel like people with a message that could influence millions of people are more dangerous than a congresswoman with a weapon. You understand what I'm saying? So they had to nip Marjorie Taylor Green in the bud before she could start, before she could start spreading her lies to millions of people, okay? And many of those were really lies. Like, I really do think that QAnon strung people along. It was all part of the plan. That's the plan. The plan is to string people along to waste people's energy believing in QAnon. You know what I'm saying? having them distracted while the real shit was really going on. When you really should have been listening to people that were bringing the truth to you and not trying to feed you a line of bullshit, like trying to give you predictions. Oh, this arrest, that arrest. Remember what happened when Ellen DeGeneres? She was quarantining at the house because she had Tecate 19. People were talking about, no, she's at the house because she's on house arrest and they're gonna arrest her. And come on, man, come on. Ellen DeGeneres is walking around free. Even Donald Trump said that Hillary Clinton would go to jail if he became president. Her ass is now running around. Listen, Hillary Clinton was never arrested, okay? Ellen DeGeneres was not on fucking house arrest. She was quarantining because she allegedly had Modelo 19. Tom Hanks was not placed under arrest. He had allegedly Modelo 19. This is their mission was to convince people that Modelo 19 was real. Because if a celebrity can get it, we can get it. That was the point. It wasn't because they were going to get arrested because they were pedophiles. No, that never happened. Tom Hanks out here making movies, still. Hillary Clinton running around, still yapping her mouth. Ellen DeGeneres is still doing her show via whatever the fuck. They still doing their thing. During the Trump administration, the energy that was wasted on QAnon. I mean, you don't know how many people were talking to me about it out here in the real world, right? Not on YouTube, but out here in the real world. People that are somewhat of like-minded as me, but they wanted so much to believe in something. They wanted so much to believe that somebody was going to save them, but it never happened. QAnon wasn't going to save you. Trump wasn't going to save you. And this was what I was trying to explain to ABL one day when I called into his live show. I said, even if Trump was about that life, there's not much he can do because the establishment is too firmly established. You understand what I'm saying? They have too much of a foothold on what's going on. You cannot do it from within. Trump cannot become president and be surrounded by the enemy and the enemy's enforcers and think that he's going to make a change by himself or with a few people, his little family. No, you have to stop looking for saviors, external saviors. You got to be ready and prepared to save yourself. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be really willing and ready to save yourself. Okay. And if somebody in the upper echelons if they start to make changes happen for the better, then good. That's just a bonus. But you have to be ready and prepared to do shit for yourselves. Too many people laying back, waiting for QAnon and Donald Trump and all these people to save the day. There was no military coup. There was no this, no that. There were all the ships surrounding the country. It wasn't so that they can defend against a forward attack once they start doing the coup. No, it was just to defend against a probable foreign attack from Russia and China, because Russia and China are maneuvering, making moves. Has nothing to do with Trump saving the country. No. So they use real shit. They try to tie real shit into fake shit to keep you distracted and keep your energy where it's not supposed to be. So let's forget about QAnon. Let's forget about Trump. Okay? That's my advice. If you were ever to take my advice, I would say, don't worry about Trump. Will Trump come back in 4 years? Will Trump come back in 2024? Who cares? Who cares? We got 4 years of hell that we got to deal with. And then after that, we got another 4 years of hell. As long as people are continuing to vote for presidents, vote for politicians to rule over them, that's how long we got to deal with this bullshit. So we have to start making moves in the right direction. You understand what I'm saying? We have to stop relying on these big talking heads, these people that are going to come to you and say, oh, this, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what moves are they making? We have to Look to people that are leading by example, that are making things happen for themselves first, right? Like, for instance, let's say AZ Infidel. AZ Infidel out there got his own land. He got raising animals and ranch and all this other shit. He's already ahead of the game. He's already ahead of the game. Who else? No, who knows what else he got going on? You know, he's in Arizona. He can have pretty much any firearm he wants. He could have people on his land ready to defend it. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of moves we need to start making. We need, you know, because let's say AZ Infidel did believe in the plan, and he did believe in QAnon, and thought Trump was going to save the day. At least he was making moves long before that to ensure that he has a safe haven, a bug out place. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit we need to be doing. And we discreetly. I mean, we, you know, people like me can come on here and you know, put out information and put out my opinion, you know, on the information and on the facts. You know what I'm saying? I can try to connect the dots and say what I think, you know, to try to help wake other people up. But everybody doesn't need to do what I'm doing. Some people can be behind the scenes making shit happen, preparing for the worst, you know, hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst, so that when shit go down, boom, they can move just like that. They don't even have to ask no questions. They can switch on just like that and make things happen. That's the type of shit we need to be doing right now. Not looking to politicians and QAnon to come do shit for us. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. If it's a politician, I don't care if it's Rand Paul, I don't care who it is. There's only so much they can do if they want to do it. They're not going to be able to reach their hands out to people like us and say, here, take this. You can take this information, run with it, or you know, here's access to these weapons. They're not going to do that. Not going to do it. I'm going to read a couple comments, then I got to get into this farmer's market. All right. Let me see. All right. Alien Believer says, okay, hold on. Blasphemy Autumn says National Terrorism Advisory Bulletin. Oh, is that what you're talking about with the DVEs? The dangerous, the DVEs, right? The violent somebodies. I forgot how it's designated. Alien Believer says, amen, no purpose getting mad, waste of energy. Exactly. He also says, think it better turn off the government by just not watching them. The government programming is political propaganda. Exactly. Laughing is good, healing autumn. Carl Trumbley says you're right 100%. Alien Believer says finding your own powers in your own body's frequencies and improving your life and spiritual self-health. Yep. Oh yeah, the DHS bulletin. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah. What do they call it? The dangerous, violent somebodies. Yeah, invest in yourself. So much energy was wasted on QAnon and Trump, you know. Now what you got? What these people got? What, you know? And you see them break down like they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know what to do themselves because they didn't prepare for Trump failing, right? They thought he was a winner. They thought he wasn't gonna fail. They're definitely going to turn up the juice. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the people and the sheeple, they're just going to lay down and take it because they feel like they need somebody to save them too. It's not just the QAnon believers. It's not just the Trump followers. It's everybody, right? On the left and the right. in terms of the citizens or the constituents or whatever you want to call them. They all want a savior. They all want somebody to save them. They don't want to save themselves. They don't want to save themselves from Modelo 19. They don't want to save themselves from terrorists. They don't want to save themselves from the police. They always want someone else to come through and save them. I don't know what it is about that. It's that victim mentality, you know. That's what they want. So disappointment after disappointment, all they got to do is say, you know what? Why are people still dying from Modelo 19, even though Biden is president? You know, and then they're gonna excuse it away. Oh, it's because he has so much resistance on the right. The right is always giving him a hard time. But how is that now? Right? They have the majority in the Congress and the Senate. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just try to see through the bullshit. And live my life that way, you know. I try to make moves. I try to think two steps ahead. But, there's so many people, so many pawns around going against you, you know. Normal people just going against you because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear that they've been lied to by the government. They don't want to hear that they're enslaved or oppressed by the government right now, because they can walk around in the world and, they can go to the store, they can go to work, they can do this, do that. And slowly their rights are being eroded away, but they think it's for their own good or for their own safety or for public health. And so they'll go against you because you want those freedoms back. And you don't want no more freedom taken away from you. That you'd rather live dangerously as a free individual than safely as a slave. But that safety is only an illusion. Because at some point, they're going to cash in on all that power. And you're going to be in the way whether you resist it or not, whether you comply it or not, you're still going to be in the way. Because you're a useless eater. You know what I'm saying? If you're a useless eater and they have no use for you, it's going to come a time where you're going to become a full-on slave, or you're going to perish, or you're going to resist. You're going to resist, perish, or become a full-blown slave after the Great Reset. That's the big thing right now. See, you see how they took attention away from Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. And now they're talking about the Great Reset. The Great Reset is the key. Because after the Great Reset occurs, that's when shit's going to get really real. Because our time and labor and energies are going to be transformed into this digital currency shit that's not really going to be worth nearly the work we put in. Everybody's going to get some credits and all this other shit. They can control what you buy. They'll know what you're buying. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. Because we have to, as human beings, as living things, we have a hierarchy of needs. And those needs, right? Food, water, air, and shit like that. Those basic primal needs. Once they control that, once they control access to it, once they restrict us from it, that's when it's going to be really bad, right? And that's what this Great Reset is about. They don't want us to be able to they don't want us to be able to use cash to go buy what the hell we want without them knowing about it. They want to put everything on digital currency and digital access, right? So that they can control how much goes out. They can ration. Once they start rationing, you'll see it. They'll start rationing, right? They'll say, oh, we have a water shortage, or we have a food shortage. We have a supply line disruption. They already gave us a piece of that, a taste of that earlier last year, of the supply line disruption, right? The access to water is going to be limited. All these things are going to be limited. And there goes our access to shit that we should not have to go through them to get. We shouldn't have to go through our government to get water, food, this, that, and the third. That's some shit that's already that's our right to have. If we can go get it, that's ours. They don't want us to raise our own food. They don't want us to have our own water, right? They don't want us to own land. They don't want us to own anything. They want to take care of us, right? They want to cram us into these mega cities so they can really control what we do and how we do it and how we live our lives. They don't want us to go camping. They don't want us to go buy land. They don't want us to do any of this shit. They don't want us to have a taste of what freedom really is. And freedom of thought and freedom of expression, that's part of it. And that's what this whole Marjorie Taylor Green thing is about. Freedom of expression. She has the right. People are so mad at her, right? She had the right to be dumb enough to believe in what QAnon was saying. She had the right to spout conspiracy theories. That's her right. But they don't want you to believe it's a right. They want you to believe it's dangerous. They want you to believe that it's insightful. And not insightful. That it can incite violence and all this other shit. That it can cause problems and you know, create homegrown terrorists. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want. They want you to believe that free speech that goes against what the government is telling you, they want you to think that's dangerous. They want you to believe their narrative and what they put out, their storylines. That's what this is about. That's what the Marjorie Taylor Green thing is about. That's what the Trump thing is all about. Because information is power. And that can be dangerous for them. So, it is what it is, y'all. It's going to be all right. I'm going to get off this. And I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all stay out of trouble. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow for a Rucking Live, possibly. We'll see what's going on in the world, you know. There's only so much we can talk about, right? But yeah, y'all stay up. Let me read a couple comments before I get out of here. I think it'd be better to turn off the government. Oh, y'all, I read that already. Alien Believer said, finding your own powers is in your own body is free. Oh, I read that too. I think they are going to turn up the juice in the world. Oh, I read that as well. Black Spring with Autumn. QAnon. Alien Believer says, yes, why they have 30,000 troops protecting them. Yes, believe they are about to turn up the hate for others with hate laws. Yep. Half-Life 2 says QAnon was just created to lump real truthers with Q, so people call every further part of Q and bring in more censorship. Exactly. Black Spring Autumn says the climate accord will be a part of the planned economy, supply and demand. Yep. All that. Rationing. Yep. I'm about to bounce myself. See you. All right. Peace out, guys. I'll holler at y'all later. See you tomorrow. And yeah, we'll keep this train moving. Peace.